Welcome to the Texas Youth in Government Media Program Overview. This year, Texas Youth in Government Media has undergone a full transformation. This effort is focused around giving our media delegates a real-world experience in journalism. Our media section will more closely align with other youth in government sections, which very much mirror real politics structure. Our media section is now going to follow suit. This year, we want our media students to really exemplify what it means to engage in the democratic process. Through the medium of media, journalism has a strong influence on how the community and citizens engage with their government. This helps them understand what's happening locally, statewide, and nationally. Media delegates are charged with looking at YG through the same lens that journalists evaluate their local officials. In media, you're going to understand what bills are being created by your peers, what's going on in party politics, what topics and ideas are starting to pop forward that could affect your community, how are judges ruling in their courtroom, and who are the candidates on the rise. Through the exercise of our media section, we expect that media delegates will understand different writing styles, how to engage with the different market and your audience, the ability to engage with new technologies, practice in executing stories, and finding your voice and the power that it has. Our media delegates are meant to shine on what's happening in youth and government program. Your role is to educate the masses as media, but also to find a way to engage with them. As digital consumers yourselves, you'll recognize that it's rare that you pick up a newspaper these days. Audiences seeking out information is at an all-time low, which is why we've seen journalists and media houses pivot to engaging with users in different ways. This has meant the pivot from printed newspapers to now focusing on social media content to pull more readers to stories. By gaining followers, different journalists have ready-made audiences, and you, as our media delegates, have an audience of 2,000 plus teens statewide that you can engage with. As you participate in the Youth in Government section for media, you're going to learn what it means to stretch your media muscles and to think through the full funnel of engagement with your readers. Your story is important, but it's also important how you market that story so that it reaches others. Through the fall media assignments, you are going to learn how to engage and do different writing styles, and you're going to find different ways to engage with your audience. We're going to have you practice different ways of executing stories, writing structures, drafts, messaging, and you will figure out how to engage with your reader through that. Most importantly, we want you to find your voice and your power. The first fall media assignment is asking you to create a promo video. You can pick any aspect of the program, any section, with a maximum of 2 minutes, and they can be shorter than 2 minutes. You are encouraged to first create a script, figure out your shot list, understand and download different types of editing software. You have some examples here, but you're welcome to use anything that your campus or that you can access with your own technology. We leave that to you, but part of this exercise is learning how to create those digital mediums that you are going to need to utilize to engage with your readership. The second story here is going to be an op-ed. We want you to figure out how you feel about a specific issue in our community. Everything goes. The topic is your choice, but op-eds are specific writing styles where you do have to make a decision on how you feel about that story, and then you have to engage the reader on why this should matter to them. Executing that can be very difficult. So make sure that you take time to write and read through your writing style. How are you engaging with people to come to your side or to understand your side of the story? A YG Club profile is going to ask you to look at history, why we are where we are. Looking at the program start, we're going to give you, as this is an example, as an opportunity for you to look back, see how things have grown and changed, and then hear from different audiences that are users. So current and past students, even your teacher are able to engage in this. Think about your club profile piece. You're educating the reader on Texas youth and government. So what are all the different things that you want to engage and utilize for your story? An in-depth interview. This is intended for you to educate us, the reader, your fellow youth and government delegates, on why it's important for us to have civic leaders at all levels. You're going to find a leader in your community and find out more about them. Tell us about their job, their role, how it fits into the community, and why it's important for civic leaders to step up and take roles like these. Leadership isn't just the governor, the president. It's people every single day across our communities stepping up and being in civic leadership roles in their community. And you're going to educate youth and government students on those roles and why they're so important. Your fifth media assignment before Youth in Government's district conference is a research short. You typically see these as engaging social media posts, how civic engagement changes your indicators of health. So it's usually something catchy that has some research behind it that pulls in the reader. These are not long stories, and you have to be able to keep it to less than 250 words. All of these, you have templates that we've provided online for y'all to utilize Canva. Canva is again another free editing software that many media channels are using currently. We have 6 different Canva samples online where you can craft and change your story, include a photo, make sure you have your title and subheading, and you also have to find and craft a way to promote it on social media. There's different Canva options again that we have available online, but you have to think through what is that caption and what is the visual that I'm going to include that are going to pull the reader into my story. As we go furthermore into district conference, you're going to have the ability to utilize all of the skills that you've seen here to be able to craft and think about your storytelling and promotion differently. This is one example.
We have here 400 people working 24/7 in shifts trying to identify the kidnapped people.
As you can see here, the social media posting
young,
from the New York
old,
Times
expert and
has
researchers of
storytelling, has
artificial
captioning,
intelligence and other
and it
cutting-edge
links back
technologies.
to a
There is a
longer
huge gap
story about
right
what's
now
happening in
between
this
what the
community.
government can and do
They
to
are
support
utilizing
and
both
what the
video
civilians are
and
doing on
still
support.
photos, and they're telling us the important captions of things that they want us to take away from the story as the reader. These are ways that you can think through your stories during district conference and state conference on how to elevate to that next level, utilizing the skills that you've built up in your first 5 assignments. At district conference, you can expect that the section leaders will verify all 5 of your stories have been completed prior to district conference. That morning at district conference, you will have a huddle and you will look through all of the different program materials for your local district conference. What are all the bills that were created? What's going on in state affairs? What's the case for this year? As youth and government students, you need to understand your local government. And so you have to dive in and learn more about what's going on at your district conference. Based on what you learn, you're going to propose 2 different stories to your editor for approval, and delegates will have to 3:30 in the afternoon to finalize their stories. Delegates have the freedom to decide on their story approach, i.e., how you write it, the templates that you use in Canva, the bylines that you use for social media, and if you choose to go with videos, pictures, some sort of other post. But all of those need to be inclusive of all stories that are created both leading up to district and during district conference. Delegates will get scored on all 7 of their stories at their district conference. Looking ahead at state conference, we will be looking at all of the ranks from the regional conferences, and only 50 delegates will be selected to move on to state. You will continue to produce stories at the state conference. 5 stories will be due during the duration of state. We anticipate you can break them up as 1 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and 2 on Saturday. However, deadlines for all stories will be set by your section leader. The group of delegates that has exemplified their storytelling skills and their video skills will be selected to co-collaborate on 2 larger projects. Those projects will be set by the co-editors during state. Again, if you have any questions on anything that you heard today, you are welcome to email txyg@austinymca.org. But we also have a Q&A section that was created by our student officers on our main website. If you visit ymcatexasyg.org and search sections and media, you can scroll to the bottom of the page and find a plethora of resources along with a lot of Q&A answers already there. We can't wait to see you at District Conference. Thank you for joining our media section.